The year is 2021. There is a pandemic, we cannot see each other, and everyone is dying slowly on this sore planet, but fear not. There are three people who are going to entertain you this Halloween. These people are Ed the Penguin!
Hello.
T-Wizard Tainted Souls!
Hi.
And I'm Mike.
I'd like to explain to the people listening and not watching. Right now, T is wearing a rather... What is that hat?
It's because it's Halloween. It's the werewolf hat.
Right.
Whereas the other 365 days of the year, it's the hat that keeps my ears warm when it's cold.
And Mike is wearing a mask of, I don't know, like someone whose face has been ripped apart or something.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a zombie, I guess. But the thing is, it's not to scale.
Right.
That's the big problem.
To be fair, though, if Mike keeps his head still right now, it just looks like the mask is honestly fucking confused.
So
and Ed's got a blazer on.
So and a shirt because you said to dress up for the stream.
Yeah, the Halloween special. Yeah,
right. You should have made that clearer. Now I'm sitting here in a jacket and fucking shirt. Thank you very much.
You could go for ventriloquist doll, a really fucking grey one.
I'm not Jimmy Carr, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I was. That's yeah.
Oh.
His laugh is so annoying.
I like it. He's a good egg. He knows what he's doing. Right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Halloween, October 31st. Not to date when we're recording this, but it's definitely not that date. And we're doing movies with T. It's going to be so good. Well, specifically horror films, sorry. Should clarify, Halloween scary stuff, right? T, can you give us a spooky voice?
Yes, of course I can. I can give you the deep voice of the demon who'll suck at your souls.
My soul's just behind my balls, actually, if you want to have a...
It did sound like he was gagging on it then.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff.
Here.
This podcast is not ASMR friendly. Fuck you.
No. As always, guys and girls, we're going to be having 3 rounds. The first round, Ed and I are going to be given a movie of on our list from the wheel, and in this we have to argue why it's the best film ever.
I keep getting it. Come on, you can do
horror
it.
Film. The second round is exactly the same. But we are provided with bad movies, and we've got to argue why they're the worst. And in the final round, we have 8 of T-Wizard's final cut of his films that he loves very much, and we haven't heard of. So we're going to have to do like a car salesman and fucking sell that.
A movie obscura.
My glasses actually...
You're getting better at the introduction-ish.
No, I mean, it was a shit introduction, to be fair. I mean, it was factual, but not entertaining. Right, guys, let's, lo and behold, crack on. We should probably say, actually, first, that T-Wizard is...
No, it's just T now.
Just T? Oh, you dropped the wizard. You've been demoted.
I dropped the wizard.
Oh, no. Did you...
It's T.
Did you... Did you tell people outside the magic circle some tricks, and now they kicked you out?
To be fair, I just left it as blank. I had loads of people that when I changed the channel name, just sent me a message going, "Oh, it's you!" It's like I saw Tainted Souls, and I was like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Yeah, I
think it honestly confused a lot of people.
Yeah.
The problem is at the time of recording this, it seems like everyone's changing their fucking names. I mean, look at the retro sessions no more.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's gone. Now you are what?
It's Potent Productions.
Potent Productions, yeah, which is tiresome on YouTube and might drop live on Twitch.
That's easy to fucking remember. Okay.
Just remember the shortened version. PP.
PP. Yeah, I mean, we can't do that because that's Positive Puppet. Shout out, Katie.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Hi,
right.
Katie.
So, but it must be mentioned that the Tainted Souls YouTube channel does have some really cool and horrific content. So this Halloween, if you're, wondering what to listen to and what videos to watch, head over to Tainted Souls and he will entertain you with some stories and tales of past horror things.
Check out the
good.
Halloween special that no doubt will be there.
Oh, it's gone live now. Okay, so
I'm really hoping that in last minute post on this podcast I could just put in subtitles. No, it isn't.
No, it isn't. Yeah. Right, let's crack our wheels then, Mr. Edward.
Okay, while we've been talking about this, I've had the wrong fucking wheel up. I will edit that out.
Good.
So, who should we? T, who do you want to start?
Oh yes.
First, who wants first spin?
I get to choose.
Just to clarify, T, let's explain the rules here.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to be completely unbiased and pick who is explaining factually and entertainingly what's going on in the movie, and whoever you think did it best wins. Basically, that round.
Okay. So
But you must take facts into sort of as best as you can. Obviously, if you haven't seen the film, then it's going to be difficult for you. But either way, we have a new rule, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Pocket Knockers What's It, and that is that we're not allowed to. So if Ed says something like the Blues Brothers 2000 had a Lotus Elise in it, and I said, no, it doesn't. It's not got one of them. You obviously haven't seen the film very much because you don't even like it that much, blah, blah, blah. Then you're persuading the judge. So we're stopping that from today. We are actually, no, I think that's not true. Is that right?
I don't know, but that is what we're aiming for. If we want to object, then it is a typical objection, but there has to be saved till the end.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can. Free speech is welcome, but after Tina's made us, what's it? Then we can carry on. Right, crack on, T. Who do you want to go first?
Heads or tails?
Oh, I'm a head man myself.
You're a head, are you?
He has my tail.
It is. Oh, it's heads.
Oh,
Heads.
Me first.
There you go.
Okay.
Ed, spin my wheel.
All right. It's gone.
Oh, it has, hasn't it?
It's the ghost.
The spooky
too
wheel.
excited.
Let me try.
I get to be spun.
It's back. Right.
Yay.
I'm going to spin your wheel.
God, that was a jump scare. When
Tick,
it
tick,
came
tick,
back.
tick, 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 tick. Okay. I guess
Zombieland.
it's horror-y. Zombieland.
Cool. Nice.
Okay.
Excellent.
Nice. And mine is going to be... is that my good list? Yes.
Oh yeah. That's a good list if I've ever seen one.
Tickety tick 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 tick. Oh fucking hell!
The ring.
Oh, which one?
So this is where I've been a bit cheeky. So the people who've been long-time listeners, because I believe it was our second podcast, I actually discussed Ring, also known as Ringu, which is the Japanese version. This is the American version.
Good.
So yes,
Cool.
Long story
Zombieland
short,
or Ring.
Zombieland and the Ring. Yes.
So get your interrogation skills on, Tina.
Yeah. Please ask us questions about our movie.
Well, I suppose the first question would obviously be, plot-wise, who do you think's got the better plot?
Okay, so we've got to defend our promote
How
our
about we
plot
just-
then. So you need to ask an individual.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
right.
The person I always thought is like the if we had a third pocket knocker, I've always thought it'd be Tina, and it's really nice to know that T here actually has not listened to a single one of our fucking podcasts by the sound of it.
No, I did.
No.
I listened to a part of one with Rainesis.
A part of what? The one with Rainesis? That's like
I
10
got-
years
I-
long.
I know it
so
is.
it's like-
That's why I broke it down into chunks. All right. And I started watching the James Bond one, but we're not going to discuss that further because I've already had my rant before we started. About how
I don't know
how
what you
tricked
mean.
everyone.
It was Pierce Brosnan. I'm sick. I am sick of these accusations.
I know. He was wearing a leather
Sorry,
jacket.
Pierce.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, we'll start with, obviously, Mike won the toss, so we'll go with him first.
Okay. Yes.
So, obviously, you got Zombieland.
I have indeed got Zombieland.
What did you think of it? Because obviously it's a unique kind of a horror film, if you think about it, in terms of zombies. And like the dynamics between the characters.
Yeah. I mean, it's a play-by-play on how to survive a zombie attack. You know, like the rules that you have to live by. Don't trust anyone. The double tap. You know, things like this, which make that film really good. There's a lot of practical effects actually used in the film to make it look more, I guess, realistic, you could say. Because quite a lot of these, you can tell that it's just a bit of latex flapping off someone's face. And when they get shot, you see the CG blood go everywhere and things like this. But they actually, it actually still holds up. I always say this with films. If they use real practical effects and things like that, it always holds up. Jurassic Park is always key in point.
Yes.
Like, if you use actual, like, live action things, you know, with the big dinosaur they had that moved, and it just holds up. And you watch that film now, and obviously you know they're not real and it looks quirky, but it's so much better than the end of Gone in 60 Seconds when he jumps a Mustang over traffic. So it's one of those films. It's got lots of practical effects, and I like it because of that. It floats my boat, and the fact that it's kind of meta, it's good. I like it. That's why it's on my list, mate.
Oh, that sounds like a really good idea. It is a very good horror film. Although has anyone actually ever seen the full list that he has? I know rule number 1 is cardio.
Yeah.
But he says, I think if you watch the second one, Zombieland Double Tap, there's a bit where he encounters, I think it's this guy called Flagstaff, who's like a kind of similar to him. It's like his mirror version.
Yeah.
And it's like you got the rules versus the commandments. Yeah. And they're almost identical, and they go back and forth. It's like, rule number 76 is don't, always be afraid of bathrooms. And the guy's like, my commandment 55 is piss outside.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, good. I'd love to see the full list. I think that'd be amazing.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. To be honest, I didn't know there was a second one.
Yeah, Zombieland Double Tap.
So I'm already looking forward to, downloading that from a reputable source and watching it, maybe.
It's not terrible. Netflix. I would say it hasn't got anything compared to the first one, but it's not terrible. It's worth a watch. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Maybe here's a horror tidbit for you. The cast, the crew, and the director of Zombieland, they all sat down after the first one, discussed it, and they all agreed that they would love to do a sequel every 10 years if they can.
They wanted a cameo in every single one as well, didn't they?
They did.
The Bill Murray cameo was they wanted to do that kind of thing.
Oh, he's lost his mask.
Does anyone remember? I think it was an Amazon exclusive, the Zombieland TV series.
I don't remember that.
They produced a TV series like with all new, with completely different cast, and I think it was shit as far as I know. I never even bothered watching it because it just seemed awful, and I think that's the way it went.
Yeah, it was kind of like the when you have like a really good UK show, and then you get like another country's like, we're going to remake that, and then you're like, no, you can't. No.
Yeah. It's very much. I mean, America are terrible for that. I mean, if you even go back to the Bill and Ted days when they did a Bill and Ted TV series, which was cancelled.
There was a Bill and Ted TV series?
Yeah, it's not very well known because it's once again awful.
Okay.
We'll be finding out afterwards. Well, really nice.
Did they even get through a whole season of it, or
probably not?
What of which one? Bill and Ted or Zombieland? I think it got cancelled. I think it was one of those ones where they filmed every episode, but not every episode was shown.
Okay, right, yeah, I know what you mean.
Sorry, got too excited about Bill and Ted.
It's like me on stream the other day.
For some reason, when people start choking on, when we're recording, I find it hilarious. So
you'll have the audio. Goddamn.
Well, when you're ready, Tina, ask Ed a question about his lovely
So,
film.
we got the American, The Grudge. No, not The Grudge. The Ring, sorry.
Ring. You agreed, though, Ed. You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, no.
So, regarding The Ring, obviously, you have the people that think the American one is a superior one to the Japanese one.
Mm-hmm.
In your honest opinion, if you were to sell me to watch The Ring, why would you recommend the American one?
I would recommend the American one probably because sometimes people find Western adaptations easier to watch, the subtitles, and weirdly enough, the tape footage in it, and the music, especially Gore Verbinski's music in it, is amazing. I mean, if the original Ring, it didn't really have that much music in it. It was fairly, soundtrack quiet all the way through. But the music for the Ring, I just find brilliant. I think I had the soundtrack at one point. I love both of them. Sorry, did I say Gore Verbinski did the music?
Yeah.
It was Hans Zimmer.
Yeah,
I got to say, Gore
was
Verbinski directed it. Yeah, Gore Verbinski was the director. It was actually his first major film. Cool. The got him commercial success, and then he went on to make the Pirates of the Caribbean series afterwards.
Got a good horror fact about Pirates of the Caribbean for you in a minute as well.
Oh, I look forward to that one. Please, go on, do your horror fact. Don't worry, I don't want to talk.
All right. So obviously the
it.
Pirates of the Caribbean is based upon the original Disney ride, which was Pirates of the Caribbean, which is actually one of the oldest rides at Disney World. It was actually there when I believe the park opened. And when it opened, the people had a really good time. But Disney, one of the things that they got the feedback was the skeletons and things look really cool. It's really realistic. It's amazing. And Disney went, yeah, we know that. But what they didn't tell people, it wasn't revealed till years later, is they put in fake skeletons because they needed to, obviously, it's the pirate aesthetic. But back then, they looked terrible. They looked really bad. So Disney went, I've got a solution for this. So he literally went to a nearby, I think, morgue or somewhere and said, hey, look, our fake skeletons look bad. Do you have any lying around? And they said, yes, we do. And they put real skeletons in the ride, which is why they looked so realistic.
Really?
Yeah, the original ride had real human skeletons. And then years later, when mannequins, like fake props things, looked real, they removed the skeletons and put the fake ones in. So there you go.
Hell.
Originally, people were going past real skeletons.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool.
Good job, Disney.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
And now I was watching the Cruella, with Emma Stone.
Oh yeah,
the new one. Actually, it's a good film. Actually, it's all right. But there's the dogs in it are CG.
Oh,
so we were just talking about this, and it just looks so fucking shit. And it looks shit now, and as we discussed earlier, it's going to look shit in the future. But I was like, why is that? And Kate and I had a conversation about it. It's obviously because they're like animal cruelty and trading animals on set and things. But they have human skeletons in one of their rides.
If they could get away with it, they'd do it. But
you're not wrong.
Disney's got loads of like creepy horror things related to them. I mean, one of them is the ride that I hate the most is I was about to say Little Shop of Horrors. It's not Little Shop of Horrors. It's a Small World, because one of the rumors apparently that parents who lost a child would actually go into the ride and they'd secretly have the child's ashes, and when they went through the ride, they would actually sprinkle the children's ashes into the ride. It's never been proved, but at the same time, like that just makes that ride even more disgusting.
It sounds a bit creepypasta.
Yeah, it could be a creepy. It's one of those like Disney horror things.
Yeah.
Like the fact that there are tunnels underneath there are tunnels underneath Disney World. That's a fact. But yeah, it's like filled with.
It's like the old the Wizard of Oz horror stories and things like that. Or is it one of the Munchkins hanging themselves and you can still see it on film?
Yes, the Wizard of Oz.
Like that.
Yeah. See,
what was that?
You not know this in the Wizard of Oz?
In the Wizard of Oz, there was always stuff about deaths on the set of Wizard of Oz, or hauntings and things. And one of them was one of the Munchkins in the Wizard of Oz. When you see him skipping down the yellow brick road, in the background you see something drop, and it looks like a person has hung themselves. And they say that one of the Munchkins hung themselves on set. It's not true. It was just like a bit of like set decoration.
Apparently, it was a bird that one of the birds had flapped its wing and it knocked something. But they do remove it in the remastered one. They like kind of CGI us out of it.
Yeah. Ed was telling me about the Luke Skywalker's speedster and the fact that it was a car called a Bond Bug. And then in order to blur that out, they literally just smudged Vaseline on the camera.
Yeah. Nice.
I did actually look for pictures of that, Ed, because you said if you look at the original version, you can kind of obviously see that's what
they used to call it. They used to pretend it was like a glow, like from the engines or something, but it was just a smear of Vaseline on the lens.
I looked for pictures on Google, I just image search, but I couldn't find anything. But you might have to pull one up if you can see one. But yeah,
what about the image?
Yes!
Anyway, The Ring.
Yes, back to The Ring.
So yeah, you were asking the difference. I would definitely say it's just got more of a suspenseful feel for especially that westernized suspenseful feel. The original one is just, it's hard to say that's it just gives you the creeps. The first one I find, but it's all different. But I love the visuals in the American one. The American one was what actually got me hooked onto like Japanese horror. Anyway, they got the whole of America hooked on it. I mean, if you look at it, they did. Then afterwards, they ended up doing The Grudge. Then they did Dark Water, and a couple of others as well.
Yeah, because it's what was I going to say? Because we later on, there's a Japanese horror one in my list that we'll have a chat about, which is just bizarrely weird. But I would like, because obviously The Ring it's all based around the premise of like the VHS tapes. Like the cursed VHS tapes. I would love it. It's really cool if they could take that and kind of like remake it for a modern day.
I wouldn't, because they did.
Audience. Oh, did they?
Yeah, it was called Rings. It was released a little while back. Actually, what it started off with a plane crash, because all the little TVs in the plane, she ended up like, affecting them, and she basically killed everyone on the plane.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know they did a sequel.
And it was,
I knew they did Ring 2, but...
Yeah, but Rings, it was fucking awful, if I'm honest. I nearly had that on my list of bad films.
I was going to say it is. Is that one of the ones you got rid?
Yeah, because we chopped them down a bit because it was very difficult for both of us to find 10. Okay. But yeah, it's... you can watch it if you want. It's not as great, but... I've
got to watch Ghost Shark first.
Even though it's strangely the Ring 2, the American version, I think they brought Hideo Nakata on to direct that.
Really?
Yeah, because they wanted to get a bit more of the Japanese horror movie feel, and it flopped completely.
I suppose that could happen when you get.
They took the one where they've got what do they call them? Basically, they had the same actress who crawled up the well in Ring 2, the Japanese version, and they got them to do the American sequel as well. I can't remember what they're called. What is it when they're called, where people can basically pop all their legs out of place? And
double jointed. Double jointed.
Contortionists.
No, contortionists, that's the one. Yeah, so they got contortionists to do that. That's actually quite creepy on both of them. But it's still nothing on the Ring. This is the reason this is on my list is because it's very difficult for me to actually decide between the Japanese one and the American one. They're both very good. There was also used to be an Easter egg on the Ring DVD where if you pressed up and up again, I think it was, then the kind of like the menu cursor disappeared and you pressed enter, you could watch the full length version of the video. It was watched in the film because you never got to see the whole video in the film.
Oh, that's cool. It's like you put in like the Konami code in your remote, up, down, BA select star. You get jump scared by Samara.
Yeah. But oddly, talking about CGI, like you were talking about the CGI dogs in which one is it? What's the film?
101 Dalmatians. Oh, Cruella.
You're talking about that. They had one scene in The Ring where in the original, in the American movie, Samara's parents, they ran a horse ranch. And when the main character, she was going over to Moesco Island, she saw a horse in a trailer on the ferry, and she went to say hello, and the horse freaked out, and it managed to kick itself free, and it ran around, scaring everyone on the ferry, and then it just ran out and jumped over and committed suicide. But it was just, unfortunately, the way it just ran over and went clunk and fell over. The CGI was a bit flaky on that, and it didn't help. The clunk was almost comedy timing. And then you see everyone look for it because it went over the front. And then people go around the back to try and look for it. And then you just see like all the blood come up from the propeller at the back of the ferry.
Nice.
But yeah,
what film
again,
is this?
It was.
Is
This
this
is the ring. This is the ring.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Fucking hell.
It was a very odd part of it. I mean, the whole sequence up to it was really creepy. It was just unfortunately when the horse hit the end and fell over, the CGI and the timing, it just like it put it up. I remember watching the cinema, a few people actually laughed at it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's good to have little like nuancey things like that, though, isn't it?
But yeah. Also, staying with the topic of CGI, we're going off on a tangent here. CGI stuff now. I watched. I was watching Harry Potter the other day, and it was watching the first one, and it's just the bit where they got the cave troll.
Yeah.
And like the cave troll, like CGI looks really good, but it's the bit where Harry's on top of him and he's being flung around. And I remember when I saw it as a child, I was like, "Oh my god, they put him on a cave troll and he's flinging around."
Yeah.
And then when I watched it now, I'm like, "Oh my god, that is crap."
Is
Like,
it really?
if you watch that scene now, it doesn't look anything like Daniel Radcliffe. It literally just looks like it's like a very basic, like PlayStation 1 graphics, right?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that. It looks nothing like Daniel Radcliffe, but when
it was
you're a
back
child,
in the days when all the 3D models, you could tell they were 3D because they were shiny.
Yeah.
They had the lighting, but they never had the texture.
yeah.
RTX on.
But when you're
That's it.
when you're a
Get
child,
that ray tracing.
Yeah.
you just don't see it. But as an adult, you're like, "Oh my god, that's crap."
Yeah. Fun fact, when I used to work in a call center, they had tables either side of this big room and you had like a walkway down the middle of them all. Once I was like late, like when you're late for work and you literally are like 30 seconds, oh God, and my locker was down the other end. So I had to walk down the office to get to my locker, get my headset out and all that shit. And I was like running and I was like, "Troll in the dungeon!"
Nice.
And as I ran down, they didn't tell me off, surprisingly. As aforementioned, it was a call centre. Like, people were on the phone. "Sorry, sir, I'm sorry your train's delayed. Troll in the dungeon!"
I bet it livened up a few of their days. It's like, my train may be late, but that made me laugh.
Yeah.
Just so we don't sit on my film all the time. The bit I wanted to mention as well is like the American version. They really like pulled a lot more into the lore of it. So everyone always remembers the ring for answering the phone, and then what happens?
You have 7 days.
But yeah, she just says 7 days, and everyone remembers that. But that was never in the Japanese version.
Oh.
You just hear like really creepy. It almost sounds like someone like scraping strings on a guitar or something. But they never said 7 days. And the other one I liked was they really showed how she could project onto photography as well. So they had what looked like X-ray scans, but it was actually images that she had made. In the barn that she lived there, that she stayed in behind the wallpaper, she could burn in. But she could burn the image into things, and that's how she made the videotape. And the other one is when people were getting close to like the images that she made and focused on them for too long, they would get nosebleeds because of the brain activity. These are all different things that they really expanded on in the American version that was never even touched in the Japanese version.
Oh, that's cool.
People thought, it's too, they're over explaining it. That's not the point of horror. It's like, you've got to leave that area. But I thought delving into it, that area, it really helped expand the mythology of it.
Oh, okay.
I'll delve into your area.
Oh, interesting. Tell you what, before I give my verdict.
I'm going to say your mic's had about 2 minutes.
Well, I'm going. That's why I'm going back to Mike, because we've talked about the ring for quite a lot.
Good.
Obviously, we're going back to Zombieland.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, when you get into the basics of it, would you say Zombieland effectively is a zombie film? Because is it a zombie film, or is it more of like a what's the word I'm looking for here? Is it more a film about relationships rather than
you basically are you asking are the zombies a MacGuffin?
Yeah,
that's what you.
So when you get down to it, is it like Zombieland? Oh, it's a film about zombies, but actually, when you look at it in depth, would you say it's actually more? Well, it's not. It's actually about these 4, vagabonds.
Yeah. But I mean, they are, very aware that there are zombies trying to kill them.
Oh yes.
But rather like, the plot is about those people. It's about him. It's about his social anxiety and awkwardness creating his list because he's OCD and needs to make sure everything's done correctly, and then portraying that in real life. It's also really good to have a plot about someone like that, because normally in a zombie film you have, you know, Rambo, big gun, so, you know, with a axe or something. Even Shaun of the Dead, right, he's got a cricket bat and he's, you know, quite athletic. I don't think Simon Pegg would ever describe himself in that way. But to watch someone who's a scrawny nerd wield a gun and then take on zombies is what kind of drew me in, and then took it out from all the other sort of films like that, other zombie films. Like it's the main character is completely out of the ordinary. If you were going to cast a zombie film, it wouldn't be that way. And can we just spend a moment talking about Woody Harrelson in this film? He's sublime.
What a beautiful, beautiful man.
He is. Yeah, he's good. And of course, in this one, he's looking for the hostess truck so he can get Twinkie. And all he can find are snowballs, like little side plots and things like that, that draw it in and make it, you know, an adventure.
An adventure through Zombieland.
Through Zombieland, my boy.
Yes. Gonna go. What would your, if you had any way? What would your? Because obviously part of the plot, not the plot. I mean, like one of those, you know, like little kind of cool extras they do is obviously, you know, the kill of the deck. Was it the kill of the week or the kill of the month or something they did?
Oh yeah. There's a zombie kill of the week, which was it the piano? Yeah.
If you had your, you know, if we got stuck in the Zombieland scenario, what would yours be? You got to be creative here, because when you get a chance to watch Zombieland 2, they introduce a Zombieland. It's like a kill of the decade, and I must admit, I was like, oh,
really?
It's very clever what they do.
Oh, I remember it now. Yes.
Yep.
Do tell.
So obviously,
it was.
So this may be like a minor spoiler. It's not. It's not a spoiler for the film.
Was it the Harvester?
It's not. What?
Was it the Harvester?
I was thinking about the Italian one.
Oh God, no! Oh yeah,
the Italian. So basically, obviously, Tallahassee, who's Woody Harrelson's character, he's also trying to get the kill of like the week or whatever, and he never seems to get it. And it's like, the kill of this week here goes to some like dude in, I don't know, Texas, who's like, he's chasing down a zombie on his massive harvester to like mincemeat him for his crops. And it's like, Tallahassee kills some zombie somehow. It's like, was that kill of the decade? And he goes, no, that goes to Mario from Italy. And he's basically set up like some mannequins as a family, and he stands, he goes, oh no, as these zombies chase him, and he literally runs away from them, and he's got one of those car jacks under the Tower of Pisa.
He's
and he sits there.
This leaning tower.
And he squishes over the Tower of Pisa, and it's like, that's the kill of the decade. And I'm like, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Okay. It's so over the top. It only just works.
But I think if in 2, like they become more aware, it's like it's more apparent that they're like, we know we're taking the piss here a bit.
Yeah.
Because they reference they even reference The Walking Dead, which is kind of, I must admit, when they reference The Walking Dead, you're kind of like, okay, cool. It's a bit weirdly placed.
Yeah. I started to think, which one came first at that point? But yeah,
I really one of my, I think probably actually my favorite horror franchise is Scream. And it's on my good list, but obviously not going to get to talk about it that much. But you've given me an opportunity here, because in that one, of course, they actually call the film Stab, right? In the cinema, in the film, it's called Stab. And I think in Scream 4, there's like Stab 9. And it's like, they just go over the top. They're almost comedy movies by that point, right?
That was it. Everything, you know, you had the I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legends, was that the name of the film?
Legends.
Yeah.
Firefire Axe one, wasn't it?
Everything just rinsed off the bloody Scream franchise, Yeah.
But it was, I don't know, I still liked them. I think they're good. They have changed. To say that the first one is like the fourth one is, it's not. It's completely different.
Scream 5 coming out next year, something like that.
I think it is, yeah. I'm looking forward to that, as well as Stranger Things season.
Didn't they do a TV series of Scream recently?
Yeah,
they did. Yeah,
it was good. Like the first 2 seasons are very good, and then I think season 3 they kind of just sort of.
Oh right.
It became like a Scream thing. I stopped watching after 2 because I was kind of like,
I never did watch it. I assumed it would be terrible.
The first season is very good. It's how they managed to like elongate it to a series. But it kind of, after you've seen one series of it, season 2 was all right, but you're kind of like, may as well just watch the films now.
So is it just someone portraying, Ghostface and doing murders?
So it's not in the Scream universe,
right?
But it's like this person's take on Ghostface. I don't think they actually call him Ghostface. The killer's Ghostface. I think they call it something different.
Yeah,
it's like the masked stabber or something daft like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't explicitly. It looks like Ghostface, but they don't explicitly call it Ghostface.
Yeah.
But it is interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so just to answer your original question, what would our inventive zombie kill be?
How would Big Mike splatter some zombies?
For some reason, I'm just going to go for my first reflex. I can't be jacking up the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I'm not in the mood for that creativity right now. But I will go for a steamroller.
Austin Powers style.
Yes. That's a good one.
I don't know. Even though it would be horrific, and I would.
You could just do it with an air horn to attract their attention, just to get them to come towards you.
Yeah,
that's a good way.
Even though I would never actually want to watch that happen to a human, because it would be gross. Part of me would be like, I wonder what does happen. Does the head swell up?
It must pop off, just like.
Yeah, but it's a Halloween podcast, everyone. We are talking about heads filling up with blood and other organs and then popping. What about you, Edward?
Your kill, your zombie creative kill. Come on,
zombie creative kill. What do you go for?
I've got no creative bone in my fucking body. I like the idea of. I mean. Has anyone seen the Life of Brian when he's being chased up the tower, and that there's no step at the end?
I think I remember that.
I would like to be able to recreate something like that to get a whole load of zombies to chase me all the way up to the top of a building, with just a platform sticking out the end, and then maybe a little area for me to hide in, and just let them all fall out.
It's a bit like that Looney Tunes thing, isn't it? They chase him off, then they run out, and he's actually standing on an invisible edge.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you were mentioning Scream as well. Scream, they were it was one of those ones where the original killings became so popular they made a film in the films.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It did, and that was it was Wes Craven that did that did the Scream franchise, didn't he? And they did something similar with Freddy's. Was it Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare? I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
It's not very well received, but it was a case of in the real world there was a Freddy Krueger, and that was
right.
Then Wes Craven cameoed as Wes Craven in it, and he said, he actually came up with the idea of the films because of something that was real, and I
think that was Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Oh, was it New Nightmare?
I think it was New Nightmare because it was
right.
Yeah, it was a film within a film. So they'd done the Freddy film, and then after they finished, Robert Englund was like, "Oh, cool." It's like, oh, you're Freddy's like, yeah, cool. And then, Freddy was in the real world. And
so you had the weird. You had the Freddy from the Robert Englund from the films, but then they tried to really change. It just looked like he's wearing a slightly darker top and stuff like that, just to try and have a really much darker atmosphere around it. To show the realism.
The Freddy in that was a lot like they'd really gone overboard on the.
Oh, they really did, yeah.
The burns and everything. He looked properly grisly in that.
I need to Google this. I need to have a look. What am I typing? Wes Craven's Final Nightmare.
Was it Final Nightmare?
It's either Wes Craven's New Nightmare, because I think he wanted to do a new series, but they stopped after that.
Right.
I think the next film after that was Freddy versus Jason, and that bombed.
He looks almost like he should be
it's
an
the
X-Men.
the meta slasher. Yeah, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Yeah.
Interesting.
It looks like he should be in the X-Men.
Another interesting horror fact about Scream is if you look at the poster for the original Scream, the girl, I think, let me get the Scream poster so I know I'm doing this right. Scream
the
poster.
One with her mouth like that.
Yeah, so the one where she's doing that.
Covering
her mouth, listeners.
She isn't actually, that person isn't actually in the film.
Yeah.
Because she was actually replaced by obviously what's her name? So obviously at the start of Scream, you know, the girl answers the phone.
Yeah, I can't remember
her
the
name.
bloody name. Yeah.
Neve Campbell. Sydney Prescott.
No, the other one. She was one of the Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
Oh.
Drew Barrymore.
Oh.
Drew Barrymore, yes. So Drew Barrymore actually replaced her because I think the girl who filmed that initial scene had to do something else, but they never took her off the poster. So she got on the poster, but then they replaced her in the film.
Okay.
But I think it was like Scream 3, they actually got her finally in the film, and they like, oh, you're in the film, yeah, cool. We're going to kill you off now. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Like, cool, yeah.
Also, whilst we're talking about Scream again, even then, just as I said, like Neve Campbell, Sydney Prescott, who's the main character, I guess you could say, in the series. Just even when I just read the word Sydney, I thought Sydney. I kind of said it like that in my head. Also, Matthew Lillard. Another lord amongst men. He's really cool.
If you're a fan of Scream, there is actually a fan-made trailer for what someone just wanted to see their Scream 5. And his idea, I don't know if this is what they're doing, his idea for a Scream 5 was there are multiple Ghostface. So like it's the anniversary of like the first Ghostface killing.
Right.
And he influences loads of people to terrorize Sydney.
Okay. It sounds similar to a film which I haven't seen called The Purge. Where
it's like similar to that.
I was thinking of the I was thinking of Hot Fuzz, the Community in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
They're all
kind of like that too.
Yeah, it works.
What was interesting about it was in his film, Sydney like needs help to try and find the actual Ghostface, and so she recruits Matthew Lillard, who comes back, but because obviously they recruit Matthew Lillard to come back. Spoilers if you haven't seen Scream. Skip to here. But he comes back and he has to try and help her to find the real one, because obviously his connection to Ghostface in the original one. Right. There you go. No spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really interesting. It was really cleverly edited.
Yeah.
If that's actually the plot for Scream 5, then I'm so sorry I ruined it.
The thing with Scream is, I think I've said this on a previous podcast. I don't know why, but with Scream, I really find it sometimes difficult to like not blur the lines between Scream and Scary Movie, because Scary Movie did it so fucking well. Sometimes there's bits I remember, like even if it's just set pieces, and I think that was in Scary Movie. That is the best parody. It's such a good parody movie.
The highlights of that series. Oh.
Yeah,
especially the second one where you have the is it Ray and the clown under his bed? And it's just like, damn, I laughed so hard at that. It was so funny.
Yes. I don't know what's that. I don't remember.
There's a bit in the second one where obviously it's like the haunted mansion trope.
Yeah, with the strong hand.
And it's Ray. I think it's one of the Wayne brothers. I think it's Sean Wayne. It might be. Yeah. He's sleeping on a bed, and it's like there's that feckin' wasp again.
Not in the film.
I've got a spider over there, Dan Longley. So the wasp has gone behind my computer, and he's sitting on his bed, and he hears this, this creepy clown voice, and it grabs him and it drags him under the bed because it wants to kill him. And the voice says, "Hey, what are you doing?" Ooh. And Ray turns the tables on his attacker in a quite amusing way.
Yeah,
right.
Needless to say, like the Jack in the Box.
I vaguely remember
the Jack in the Box clowns. There's a scene where don't go in my tea. The wasp is flying into my tea. It literally pops out. It's amazing. Okay. I laughed so hard, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm laughing this hard. It's one of those toilet humor jokes.
Right, Tina.
Yep.
Who has a better film? Is it Ed with The Ring, or is it me with Zombieland?
Remember, you're basing this upon us talking about the film, not your own.
Yeah, no, you're basing this on us talking about Scream and special effects,
CGI, and
all the other films
about Disney.
Yeah. We spent 2 minutes talking about our films.
Yeah, it's true.
Which one's best?
See, I got to admit, I'm kind of torn because, like the Zombieland one, it's a cracking film because it is about the relationships between people, and it's finding some sort of a solace in a broken world. But at the same time, like The Ring, it's really interesting learning it, as a concept for a film. It's incredible. I don't actually know who to give this to. It's a bit annoying. Am I allowed to make it a draw? Am I not allowed to do that?
It's never been done.
Ooh, that's never been done.
Well, I mean, the thing is, worst case scenario is we have to get something out of our pocket later.
Yeah, okay, go on. Yeah, we can have half each.
I would say I'd give you a half a point each, only because I'm not a huge fan of zombie films.
Okay.
But Zombieland, when I saw it, was really cool because it wasn't about the zombies.
Yeah, I mean, for the record, now that you've said that, that's great, thank you. I would have probably chosen Ed, man. Like, it's so much more passion, knowledge about this film. And this film is like, when you think of a synonymous horror film, like synonymous with the genre, The Ring is on there, right?
I must admit, my head, I do kind of want to go with Ed. And I will be honest here, I have seen The Ring before, but I fell asleep. All right. Now, hang on. Now, before I did, I was only about, I must have been like 16 years old. I was at my aunt's house. It was like the middle of the afternoon. I had like this dog on my lap, and I fell asleep, and I missed the entire film. So I have no idea what happens in it. But when obviously Ed was describing it, I'm like, holy shit, I missed so much.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a bit where a horse gets mincemeated.
Yeah, by a prop.
Like there's a lore and all that. So actually, if I'm gonna be honest, I would have to give it to Ed. Only because I now want to go watch this film again because I missed way too much.
No, do it. Ed, you got a point, mate.
There you go.
Aw, thanks.
Right.
But before we go...
Well, we're not going anywhere. It's just the second round. Carry on.
I know, before we start the second round, you have to check out The Ring versus The Grudge.
That was on my shit list.
Exactly.
Still on there.
It sucks.
No, it's not. Sadako versus Kayako. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It's crap, but it's just so fun to watch these two icons.
It ends up like them using the videotape, and then they end up having a fight in the house from The Grudge or something.
It's like ridiculous. how do we get rid of the curse? Watch a cursed horror film in the house and smash them together, and the people
basically they use the evil spirit from The Grudge to destroy the fucking curse from the videotape. It's
wow,
so odd.
It's just a lot of contortionism.
I would like to say that I'm trying to remember the name of the ghost type, but from that common image of like the long hair in front of the face.
I think it's is it a Yurei? I think it's a Yurei.
I think
ghost.
it is. Yes, yeah. But that type of not a lot of stuff really freaks me out horror wise, but that really fucking gets to me. So that's why I probably really appreciate these films so much, is because there's not much that that scares me.
Did we try and catch a few of those in
just
Phantasma, whatever it was called?
Yeah,
Phasmophobia.
Well, there you go. Do you remember the first time we played Phasmophobia and I hid in a cupboard because I would not get out because I could hear it. That's how much it freaks me out.
That was just so good. Was it clipped? Was that clipped?
It was clipped.
It was, yeah.
I might try and put some sound in.
I'm gonna watch it later.
That was good.
I kind of want to set it as my ringtone. Right, round 2, ladies and gentlemen. This means we are now fighting for why our film that is fallen off the wheel is the worst. Spin my wheel, Ed. As soon as do you want to do yours first?
I'll do mine first because you were first last time.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, so
we've only got 5 films on this list, guys. So for those watching, you can see it's a lot more. There's a lot more space on there.
Is it 5 films?
Tickety tick 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 tick. This is mine, and it is. Oh look,
it's Rings.
Okay.
This is. I thought I'd removed it, but clearly not. We were just talking about this before, so we can discuss it a bit more.
Oh, lovely.
So just so I'm clear, right? Rings is about a horror film about measuring a tree's life. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
It's about
308. Yeah.
It's actually a documentary on how they came up with the Olympics logo.
Oh my god.
It's a cursed logo.
Yeah. The logo.
Mike's list is going to spin now.
Now, tick, 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 tick. Sorry, I was just saying dick.
Oh, well.
Tick, 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 tick.
Okay.
I am Omega.
Yeah.
The hell is that?
Shout out Lucan.
Yes, definitely.
This was briefly discussed. It's an Asylum Productions. Have you heard of Asylum? They're very well known for making the cheap knockoff sci-fi channel movies and things like that, such as Atlantic Rim and
cheap
and
knockoff
things
porn
like that.
films.
They did this one's I Am Amiga, which is a rip-off of I Am Legend. They also have a film called Snakes on a Train.
Yeah.
Which is also on my list.
Oh, they did Sharknado.
Yeah.
They also did Z Nation. That was the thing I was thinking of.
Yeah,
you should definitely check out Z Nation.
Yeah. Someone kept telling me that it was really good and I should watch it.
Although they have some they came up with some weird ideas for zombies.
Yeah.
The best one I think was the weed zombie. It was just fantastic. It was a
Like
zombie
smoking weed.
Yeah, literally, it was a zombie that had fallen into a weed production plant, melded with the weed, and started producing weed plant zombies. So they could only kill it by going in hazmat suits, so they wouldn't become high and die.
I thought you were talking about Troll 2 for a second, where isn't the trolls are vegetarians, so they can't eat humans, so to turn the humans into cabbages, so then they can eat them.
Yeah, it's a really good series. But yeah, that weed zombie was just incredible.
Shout out Asylum Productions for Transmorphers, by the way, which is a very well-known franchise.
Transmorphers?
Yeah.
Robots in disguise.
I have to check out some of their stuff. These things sound amazing.
You should go through their back catalogue, definitely.
Scarecrow Slayer, I'm hoping that's something to do with Buffy. Vampires vs. Zombies, that sounds cool. They did War of the Worlds.
Yes, they did around the same time as War of the Worlds. The Tom Cruise one.
I was going to say, it's not the Tom Cruise one.
No, but they released it at the same time because I believe the book, the H.G. Wells book, is public domain, which is why anyone and everyone can write something about it.
Exactly.
Which is why
it's Jeff Wayne.
Weirdly enough, a couple of years ago, BBC, they did an adaptation of War of the Worlds, as well as I think it was Fox. They released an adaptation around exactly the same time.
Well, there you go. I guess if you're a small movie producer and you're going to release a film like that you're already working on, you may as well aim for that date, because if there's already loads of SEO and marketing done for their film, likely it is they'll get confused and you'll get some free business out of it. Like, get it on DVD. Imagine that. Imagine. Oh, yeah, that film's come out with Tom Cruise in it. Oh, yeah. Oh, we've gone to Asda, to do this shopping, and there it is.
I gotta watch some of their stuff. That sounds like fun fact, though. Interesting horror fact about Sharknado. Obviously, the main what's the guy's name? I can't remember his name. The main character. Oh, Ian Ziering. Do you know what he's also famous for?
Go on.
Twister.
No. So Ian Ziering is famous because he does a lot of voice acting as well. Right. And one of the characters he voiced, he was the voice of Vinny in Biker Mice on Mars.
Oh, right.
He was the original voice actor.
There you go. We should mention everyone. T is actually a voice actor too.
Yeah.
Semi-professional now, right? You're doing paid gigs.
Yeah.
Which
is all good.
Yeah,
I've got one. I actually got a horror one coming up. Should have been the start of September. Well, it's the start of September. Well, halfway through. As of recording this,
it's like, when I can imagine you find out that you've been replaced by someone.
Well, no,
you remember?
I know,
it reminds the Mighty Boosh when Bollow's I'm going to be cast in the film. What is it? The ape bloody film. What is it?
Planet
King Kong.
Apes.
I'm going to be King Kong. And he's like, no, they already made that. And he's like, no, you said the role was for me. Yeah, I'm in that film. Yes. Well, it's like, no, you're not in it.
I did an audition for a guy that I worked for, and it's for a killer clown, in his show that he does. And I did the voice for it, and he sent me an email going, oh, well, he goes, no, I'd love you to be the voice of the clown. He goes, because I cast the clown as this bloke, but his voice wasn't good enough, but he's perfect to play him physically. And I went, and I'm going to cast you as the voice of the clown because I can't cast you physically as him. And I was like, that's fair enough. And he was like, oh, this guy's like 6'3", And I'm like, yeah, I'm only 5'6", so I'm not a most imposing of figures. And he goes, oh yeah, we'll get you in studio, we'll get the voice done. He goes, we can discuss what your character's going to wear and all these things. And I was like, in the studio? I was like, do I have to? It's like, I'm going to come dressed as the clown when I record the lines. And I'm like, oh, cool. But that should be done as of air time now.
So you've already done it?
No, I haven't done it yet.
Oh.
But as of when this,
Happy
Halloween,
right,
it'll be done.
Good. Okay. Link below if it is. Right. Ed, are you ready to get asked some questions from T?
I'm fucking Rings, not looking forward to this one. Yes, this is Rings. I watched it once. I mean, I should remember it quite well because it's part of a franchise I love. And it was only released in 2017.
I think I've got 2 questions I can ask you each.
Okay, yeah. Go on then. Right,
obviously,
we'll let you
the first one.
questions.
Let's get out of the way. Why is it crap?
Why is it crap? It's too. I don't know. Everything just seems too light. It just feels like it feels very much like your typical teen horror. That's what it's kind of turned into, which is strange. I mean, I'd probably compare it to like urban legends in that way, because that's what this became in the film itself. So it started off with 2 people in a plane, talking about this videotape, and they've realised that they've both seen it, and they saw it 7 days ago, and then that's when Samara comes out and then basically causes the plane to crash. And then it goes to the point of then someone buying this college professor. He buys a video recorder, but then there's a videotape inside. So he looks at it and then like, what the hell's going on? And they started to uncover this cult called what they call? I think it was like the 7 or something like that because it's 7 days.
Was it just? Well, it's like, we discovered the cult of Rings.
No, it was like the 7 because I think it's down to the 7 days. I don't know. But what they do is they're like they kind of like do the whole like pass the tape on, so they get someone else to watch it to free themselves, and then they pass it on for fun.
Oh, okay.
Shit like that. I know, but then it comes down to one person who then decides to try and find out, the where does it originate. And they believe that once again, maybe it's because they need to put Samara's body to rest. Or is it her mum? I can't fucking remember. Her mum's involved in this as well. Because in the original version of The Ring, if you remember, Anna Morgan, her mum is her adoptive mother because they couldn't have a child. So then this is all about trying to find, trace where the real mum came from. And it came down to like she was held in a monastery during pregnancy. I think she was raped or something like that.
Is this all in one film?
This is all in one film, yeah.
God, this is already
so
really
they try to unearth this backstory. Try and flesh the character out a bit more, but they just do it terribly. But what they found out is this because on the phone, or when she's on the phone, I believe she gets a burn mark on her hand. And then by the end of the film, they realise that this burn mark is Braille. And then they translate the Braille on the hand that actually says rebirth. And what happens by the end of it is the person, the woman trying to, help, release the spirit as such. She actually becomes reborn as Samara. She looks around in a mirror and then suddenly she's Samara. It's just fucking. They try and take it, and it's too. I guess it's a bit too fast paced.
I mean, it sounds like it's very. I mean, there's a lot to unpack in that.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And
there's not enough horror in it either.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a horror film. It sounds like a very poorly done.
I guess I could
thriller?
Probably. Have you ever watched The Nun?
No.
Which was the spin-off from The Conjuring 2.
Yeah, I have heard about it. It is on my to-watch list.
The Conjuring 2, I thought that was good.
That's good.
Yeah, and the nun in it is fucking scary as anything.
That's, is that Valak?
I believe so, yeah. But then they did The Nun, and it's like they just the horror element wasn't there. It just felt more.
Oh, okay. Wait, so how does the tape get on the airplane?
Because it doesn't. If you remember in the original version of The Ring, they watched the tape.
I don't, because if you remember, I fell asleep.
Okay, yeah. So what happens at the end of that, after the 7th day, like if they've got a TV near them, it flicks on, and then they see the well, and then the rest of the shit kicks off. So
I was about to say, did some airline go, oh, we've got hold of the tape, let's broadcast this to everyone?
I think I said
Welcome
this
to Death Airlines, guys.
I think I said this in Lucan's one, but because in both the American version, the original, and the original itself, there was a bit where there's 2 kids that died in a car crash, and people started to question, how the fuck did they die in a car crash if you got to have a TV nearby? And I think it's something that never really. I don't think the people who directed it never really thought of it. But in the book that was written by Koji Suzuki originally, that she used to come out of reflections, and I think she came out of like the rearview mirror or something.
Oh, okay.
A really small one.
Yeah, no, but it was just they see the reflection, I believe, that caused. I can't even remember if she crawled out in the books.
She's squeezing herself out through the wing mirror.
All it is they've taken a brilliant concept and they've completely misunderstood it. They've tried to go through like an urban legends type feel. It feels very much like your Final Destination type film, and it just doesn't feel have the same feel as like what The Ring is intended for.
I think what works so well about, because obviously I know about Samara. I can't remember what her Japanese name was. It was something similar to Sadako. That was it, called Sadako. I think what worked about them initially was the only history you needed to know was, she drowned in a well. And like loads of people were like, oh, cool. Let's just see how she kills people.
With that, it wasn't really much the drowning in the well. It was more of the not understanding where she came from. It's like some, there were some theories. It's like she was born from the devil or things like that because she was adopted, and they never had any records to find out about her natural parents. And this is one that tries to unravel it. So like I said with The Ring earlier, I like how they try and progress like the projection of images that she does through and like just the lore around what, her powers. But if you start to try and unravel the mystery of where they come from, that's normally where in any fucking film it goes wrong, really.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, it's because you can apply that to like slashers in general. Obviously, you got your big ones, Freddy, Michael, Jason are probably your big, probably the big 3. And like their backstories are like, it's tiny. I mean, Freddy, you can sum up in a sentence like Freddy, child killer, burnt alive, comes back to haunt people. People are like, yeah, cool. That's all we need to know. Jason.
If they try to do like a Freddy Krueger Origins film, they'd probably get it all wrong. And the big reason for that is because it gets your brain thinking, and so many people have so many theories about it, and they love it. And then when the film comes along, they're really going, oh, I hope they're gonna go through X, Y, Z, what we've discussed on forums, and then it's nothing like it. Even if you go to like Luke Skywalker and Rey in the last Star Wars trilogy, and like where who were Rey's real parents, and they tried to bring that out, and then they fucked it up. Sometimes you just don't want to know.
Yeah, less said about that Star Wars film, the better.
The same with Anakin Skywalker, I guess, as well.
Oh, I did see the best meme about episode 1. It was like how they could have literally just not had to do the Star Wars franchise, because there's a bit, I think it's in episode 1. It's like,
is it the pod racing? It's working. It's finally working. And then it blows up, and then it goes to the credits.
It's a bit where I can't remember what it was. It's like it's Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Padme, and Anakin are like they're getting surrounded by enemies, and they're like, oh, we have to fight this thing. And if you look at where Qui-Gon's lightsaber is, so he's got his hand on the buzzer. Oh, not the buzzer.
The buzzer.
The thing. His lightsaber's literally pointed right under Anakin's chin. And so loads of people like activate lightsaber. It's like just credits roll.
Move it a little bit.
Yes, that would do it. Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, that's my film.
Cool.
Michael.
There you go. Oh, hi everyone.
Let's ask the same question. Why is it crap?
Why is it crap? Well,
why is it not good? Or is it? I don't know. Why do you think it's on your bad list?
That's the same question in 3 different ways.
Why does it not meet expectations of a good film? Do tell.
Right, so first of all, the main story and plot is just completely ripped off from I Am Legend.
This is I Am Omega.
It says I Am Omega, yeah. Okay. Or I Am Omega. Basically, the plot is that there's a big, rather like in I Am Legend, there's like a diseasey sort of zombie-ish thing going on. They're not really zombies due to international copyright law, but they are,
Who has copyright over zombies? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
George Romero, I think, probably could claim that.
Yeah, you're not wrong, yeah. No, it's just a little joke.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad you took it personally.
I made a little funny.
How dare you?
So yeah, there's like, they're not zombies, in I Am Legend. You have seen that, right?
Yeah, I've seen I Am Legend, yeah.
So they're not, they're like pissed off, brainless people, aren't they? They're not necessarily zombies.
Yeah, they're more, so I think it's better described in the book, I Am Legend. Right. Yeah, they're not zombies, but they're kind of like, they're still human.
Yeah.
But they just can't escape their rage. So their brains are just like permanently angry all the time. I don't know why they don't like sunlight. I don't think that bit was explained.
Oh, yeah.
No, because it was originally based off like zombie and vampire literature. I think it was supposed to be a combination of the two.
But yeah, they're not. It's not. Yeah, it's not zombies. It's like their rage, kind of like 28 Days Later. It's just like pure
in the
rage.
way that they can run.
Zompires?
Yeah. Zompires, yeah.
Vambies.
Vambies, that's good.
That's quite like Bambi.
Yeah.
Imagine a zombie Bambi.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Morning is fucking mum, and then his mum just says like,
Mum, you're dead. Mum, you're alive. Mum, why are you eating, Dad?
Okay. So yeah, that's basically the same plot. His the whole film is this following this guy, the main protagonist, as he plants bombs around the place, basically, and he's setting them all for times so that they count down from hundreds of hours down, and then so he plants one, and that'd be 172 hours, and he'll plant another one over the other side of the city, and that'd be for like 168 hours, depending on how much time has passed, so that they all detonate at the same time. A problem with this is that there are many things in this film that it's a B movie. Let's not get over ourselves here. The bad thing is that it's a bad B movie. Like if you watch a B movie, you're like, okay, I don't expect much Hollywood type stuff.
It'll be a laugh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But in this, there's like right towards the crescendo of the film, the bombs are just about to go off, and the clock's ticking down 10, 9, 8, 7, and it cuts away to a bit of other footage. Comes back again, and it's 6, 7, 8, 9, and it's like, what? Huh? Why didn't you just reverse the footage?
Wait, so they? Oh, okay.
The clock was counting down to detonation, which is what the entire thing he's been doing this whole time, and in one of the scenes, it's counting up.
Get to the car, Michael.
The car's good. So obviously they had a 50p to make this film. So they get an old American car, which I should imagine was just like, I don't know, a grandma died and they stole the car or something. And they use it in the first half of the film, and it gets, I can't remember how it comes across its demise, but it gets crashed, whatever. In the next scene, they're, hijacking another, well, not hijacking because everyone's dead, but they're like stealing another car. And it's exactly the same car, but they've painted it with deluxe white, and they've cut the roof off. And they did it so shitly that they just put literally duct tape over the sharp edges of the windscreen and stuff where they cut the roof off. It's not.
Didn't they have to reuse it again later on though? Didn't they have to restore it to its former glory for another take or something?
Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, man, yeah. There's a lot of things like that make you think, not a good film, is it? It's not a fun experience for anyone.
I've been looking at images of these films. We've been describing them, and even just looking at the, I mean, the guy, the guy in it, he looks. I've seen him before in something, but like it was in something recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's. I don't know unless he just looks like someone else I'm thinking of. Oh my god, this looks terrible.
I'm trying to find a picture of that car, man. It's just.
Well, I'm looking at the poster, and I mean, I'm just getting a range of like different films here. I mean, I'm getting the zombies from the zombie like horde.
Yeah.
I'm getting I am like a post-apocalyptic from the buildings. I'm getting a Jean-Claude Van Damme look. Feel.
Oh, Mark Dacascos.
Yeah, Mark Dacascos
rings a bell.
Yeah.
He looks like he was in Drive and John Wick Chapter 3 as well.
Yes, John Wick Chapter 3. That's what he's in.
I've not watched that one yet. Need to get around to it.
It's good.
He was also in. Do you remember when Machinima did the Mortal Kombat Legacy stuff? He was in that as well.
Yes. I must admit, I'm looking at a truck. There's a truck on the cover of this poster.
Yes.
Is there a truck in the film?
No.
Oh.
Well,
I'm getting Transformers vibes from that, so you know. It looks like. I mean, the poster honestly looks like he's.
I will have to put a poster in.
Please do.
Production.
It looks like he's honestly crowd surfing.
It's weird. It looks like the truck looks like Transformers meets Cars. It was almost like
I was thinking
Optimus
Cars.
Prime's got a little smile at the bottom.
Yeah, I know, that's exactly what I thought. I can imagine him being Mac. Also, it looks like he's animated and lifting the front up, like to
He's doing
to hit
push-ups.
the zombies or something.
That'll be the next. That'll be the next film. It'll be Transformers / Omega Man.
Yeah.
Transmorphiga Man.
Trans Omega Formers.
Yeah.
Versus the Deceptor zombies.
So there you go.
Zompires.
I am Omega.
I must admit, my second question is to like, how could they make these films better? But honestly, they sound so bad. I don't think anything could save these. I mean, you might be able to save Rings somehow. But I think I am Omega Man is just.
You definitely could. I mean,
with
Rings, when we're coming around the time of what's the name of the guy who directed the latest It, and he also have you watched Mama as well?
No,
the same guy directed Mama, and that is quite creepy. Well, bits in it are creepy. It and It Chapter 2. I can't remember the name of the guy that directed it.
People actually asking for It Chapter 3? No, they can't be.
I hope not.
Andy Machete.
Yes, yeah. If you search for Andy Machete Mama, there's a brilliant bit in that.
He's doing a remake of The Howling. Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, we're coming to a time where we can really get like your dark suspense horror right again, and that's what they should have done. But they seem to have gone through the teen horror drama thing. That like you Scream and God knows and Final Destination, things like that. It's not what it should have been. But I believe they've been talking about doing this film for a really long time. It's one of these ones that's gone in and out of writing and production. It's just taken a long time for them to finally think, you know what, we need the money now.
I mean, I'm of the mind especially when it comes to slasher films, maybe just horror films in general. Typically, the sequel is never good. It's never good.
No. The problem with this is they've taken. If we're going to horror suspense, that's what this is. This isn't like your slasher. This is more like your Blair Witch and things like that. That's what it. What it is. It's all about the build up, really.
I have to hold my hand up. I thought the Blair Witch was just crap.
Oh, it's gash, absolute gash. But
could you back her off, whatever you are?
He's talking to a wasp, not me or Michael.
No, that's the fly. Go away. The Blair Witch. If you watch it now and you have no concept of the Blair Witch, you will sit there like I do and goes, I'm watching people in a woods.
You just watch. If you want someone to watch it, tell them to watch the last 20 minutes. Last 15 minutes. That's all they need.
But the thing is, the film was an incredibly good horror film if you watched it in the 2000s when it came out, because they had this mass amount of
they were the
promotion
ones that
and everyone thought the actors were dead. like their families got like
they broke that genre that was ongoing that Wes Craven brought along,
and it worked.
It was
back then.
it was refreshing horror like the original Ring did as well.
Yeah.
But this is just
now, it's. But I think that's the problem that you have with slasher films.
Paranormal Activities as well. I like them. No, I love them. I
liked what they were. I liked seeing how the special effects worked, but like I wasn't for some reason. I mean, I really love paranormal stuff, but I don't know why. For some reason, they just didn't do them for me.
Didn't the original Paranormal Activity have about 3 different endings or something? There was one where she was thrown at the camera. There was one where she cuts her own throat. I remember there was one where she cuts her own throat. I think it was played either at a film festival or
I think if you watch
premiere.
What was that film he did? It was one of the Wayans brothers. It's like a haunted house.
Oh yes,
like the parody. I think in the end of that one, they copy the second ending to Paranormal Activity where she does cut her throat.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
That's a fantastic film. But I must be like Jason. With the exception of Jason. So there's Freddy, Jason, Chucky to an extent, all fell victim to it. Where like their first couple of films are really good, like very good, and then the more they went on, people were like, "There's no plot here anymore, is there?"
It just gets silly.
Yeah,
people enjoy it. People enjoy it for the silly factor. Yeah,
of themselves to the point where obviously Wes Craven did Scream. It's like, it's a parody of the genre. It's like we don't need to now because they're all parodying each other.
Yeah.
Although the new Chucky, I must admit, Michael, especially with the new Halloween films, has definitely broken that.
I quite enjoyed the last one. I'm really looking forward to them. The next one coming along as well.
Chucky, there's a Chucky.
I think it was the right move. Unfortunately, with a lot of sequels and reboots now, they are trying to make the same approach of ignore most of the sequels.
Yeah.
Because like this one, it ignores them all, doesn't it?
It ignores everything apart from the very first film.
I remember when what's his bloody name? What's the name? Neil Blomkamp. There was talk about him doing the Aliens, and he said he was only going to start it after Aliens itself, and there was going to ignore 3 and Resurrection.
I could understand that 3 and a Resurrection would not.
I've got a soft spot for the third one, but then
the third one.
They did the same with Terminator as well. The last one, Dark Fate, which was a bit shit if I'm honest.
I chose to see that over the Joker, and I really regret my decision.
Oh, you twat!
I know, but my missus was not happy either. She was like, "You've just taken me to see this shit film instead of the Joker." I was like, "Yeah, sorry."
There are a lot of that's what they're doing now with reboots. Is they're doing sequels to original films, but ignoring other sequels that people didn't like.
I did come up with a better,
bit of a cop out
plot line for Terminator Dark Fate. I don't want to tell anyone because I want to write it and send it to the studio and be like, make this instead, you twits.
We look forward to that one.
Exactly. I can't remember why I've gone off a tangent about slashers.
We're just talking about how they break their own genre and style.
Yeah,
and they basically ruin it, especially if they're trying to reveal character backgrounds and things like that.
Yeah, I think I was having a chat today with a friend of mine who's a massive Halloween fan. Michael is his favorite one, and obviously the new one is Halloween. What was it, Returns or something? The one they did a few years ago, and then obviously this one is Halloween Kills, and then the next one is Halloween Ends.
Oh no, the first of the remakes is just called Halloween.
Oh, okay. And what we thought we discussed is our theory is Halloween Ends. For this director is like, this is where we're either gonna kill off Michael, we're gonna kill off Laurie, or we're gonna kill the both of them off.
Yeah.
And that's why it's called Halloween Ends. And I sat there and went, that'd be really cool if they do that, because that would be the first time that someone goes, right, our Michael is dead. It's done.
They've always had like, what was the best way? I mean, from a Doctor Who perspective, they've always it's like Davros has always had an escape pod. There's always been a way to bring the fucker back. It's like Blofeld with bloody James Bond. There's always
exactly.
They just need to if they had a way just to end it and go, look, that's
dead.
it. Yeah. It's like why most TV series, most good TV series, they've always had 2 series maybe in the UK, like back in the day, and then they stop.
Mm.
A lot of the time they don't always plan an end, or they have it in their head. But
I mean, it's obviously is obviously the Assassin's Creed games. I know it's supposed to be movies, but it's like we'll get. I've got my verdict. I know who I'm going to award this to. It's fine.
No, I've been watching Michael awkward. We sit there. You can't make a verdict because Mike has hardly said a fucking word.
Sorry, Mike. Keep going about I Am a Mega Man.
I don't want to. Just.
Do you not want to discuss your bad film anymore?
No.
Oh, okay.
There's not really too much more to say, really, mate. It's a shit. They've taken a storyline that was good, fucked it up, filmed it badly, fucked the editing up. The special effects are shit, and they did have somewhat of a budget, and it looks like they spent it on, as you guys know, the actor, that guy, I should imagine.
Yeah, he's surprisingly good actor, so I don't know how he ended up in that film.
Yeah.
But fair enough.
I suggest you watch it because he's not.
I will.
I think it must be a direction issue, but
I'll say something about I Am a Mega after the verdict. So,
well, I'm going to award it to Mike because it just sounds like there is just no hope for this film.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nice try as well, Ed.
Rings you can potentially save. But
Rings,
I think with
Rings to me was a box office
bad.
flop. It was an absolute box office flop, and it shouldn't have been. They should have been reviving that series, especially around the time, as I said, things like It, which they had such success. They could have done it so well. What I was going to say, and the reason I said it after the verdict is because it wasn't really my place to say it, but it's an asylum production. I Am Amiga. It's not supposed to be good, and there's no chance of it ever being good because that's what they are. They know that they're just little cash cows. That's all they are. They're your bargain bucket nonsense, and I mean, I would never expected it to be good.
I can't wait till they do their version of Halloween. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
All Hallows Eve.
It's like, what should we call it? Halloween Chills.
The Night of the Pumpkin.
Yeah. What should our main villain be? It's got to be a double name. How about or they'll just switch. Goes, Michelle
Mowers.
It's like, yeah, done it. Let's go. Let's get a really high powered name as well.
You mentioned Paranormal Activity in your last chat. And one of the things that I always remember about the first film specifically is that they made it with like less than $1,000.
Didn't they do it in his house?
Yeah, he filmed it in his
director's
house. Yeah, like less than $1,000, I think it was.
That's incredible.
And the ratio of how much it earned, like millions.
That's why that job that really took off. I mean, that's why I like it, is because it was good as far as I'm concerned, and it started a genre there. Weirdly enough, there was one film I watched called The Ouija Experiment. I think it was the second one's actually my bad film list, but it used to be on Netflix, and it was such a low budget, and it's not a major production company. It's like one of these ones, you always find like it's like a C movie almost, but you find it on Netflix or Amazon Prime, and there were bits in it that were a bit creepy, but the rest of it, the acting is terrible, the photography is terrible. Then they made a sequel, and the sequel was based upon them going to watch the first film. And like it's got a big cult following, and they were there as a panel, and then they found the Ouija board in the cinema, and like all the actors were like, "Oh, let's go do it. This will be fun." And then it happened in real life. It's fucking But the found footage stuff it really found its way.
The rise of the meta films. It's like, we're making a film. Let's make a film within a film.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're doing that with the new Matrix film. Have you seen the trailer?
I'm not even interested.
It's weird.
Why isn't Lawrence Fishburne in it? There's got to be a reason. But Morpheus looks fucking weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't understand how they're going to explain that bit. But
well, there's a weird bit in the trailer where they're in a like a movie theater thing, like some gun battle. But if you look behind them, they're playing scenes from the first film.
Oh, really?
And it's like, cool.
Okay, we'll have to watch it again.
Yeah, if you watch, you can see scenes in the first one. People are like, okay, odd.
Is that to generate nostalgia without actually doing it properly through the new film?
I think it's generally in the film. I think one of the theories is somehow Neo and Trinity aren't dead, and they've been put back in the Matrix, and they're having their memories suppressed by blue pills.
That's it. I mean, you see that in the trailer, don't you? You see him like in the real world, I believe, still plugged in, don't you? I don't know.
Yeah, I must admit, when I watched the trailer the first time, I was like, it looks cool. But then when I watched the breakdown, I'm like, I'm so lost. Like this.
I'll watch it.
No.
Yeah,
But-
I've only seen the first 3 once, and I think it's one of those things like you need to watch these.
This
films
is the
3 times.
this is the other thing
Yeah.
people are going on about, saying, "Oh, they're going to ruin it. They're going to." It was already fucking ruined.
Oh yeah, it sucked
like the-
after.
Matrix Reloaded had some fun bits in it, and I enjoyed it. I actually quite liked the video game that tied into it as well. Enter the
Was that-
Matrix.
Oh, I thought you meant Path of Neo. That one was
No,
good.
Enter the Matrix is a PlayStation 2 game, and it was almost in time with the second film.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was was a bold move. But then the third one, it was just some self-righteous bullshit, and it was boring, and I couldn't fucking stand any of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're all right. I just, I think I need to watch them again to actually get more into the lore. And actually, I was actually quite, some people end up quite confused after watching the first one. Like, what the fuck is going on? Are they alive? Are they dead? Are they connected to this thing? I actually worked it out pretty okay the first time, but yeah, it's a squirrely storyline, and lots of room for error, unfortunately.
And the other one is as well, if you wanted to expand upon it, just before they released the second film, they had a series of animated ones called The Animatrix,
Yes,
which all tied into it as well. There was a couple
It's
of good ones
almost
there
like
as well.
The Animaniacs.
Yep,
That was right.
I
So they lived in
remember that,
Neo and Trinity lived in a water tower.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was also the rise of the the slide phones.
Yeah, the
as well.
slidey phone. I had a Nokia 7110.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
After that film came out, it's like, I want a slide phone. Yeah, hello.
Yeah. I loved it. The
Hello.
fact that they all
Hello, Martha.
promoted the Nokia 7110 as the Matrix phone, and it was never featured in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
But it's Halloween, so let's
Yeah.
talk about scary films.
Yay! More specifically, Tina's.
Oh, mine.
Let's have a look
Yeah.
at Tina's wheel.
This is the round where we, the wheel will land on a movie for each of us, and we have to do 5 minutes of research, and then, like a car salesman, try and, explain why it is our favourite film ever. But of course, we've never seen it. That's where the fun is.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
Ed?
I think I've chosen some good ones. Some of them you'll probably read and you'll be like, what? There's a couple in there where, I mean, I'm a self-confessed chicken, all right? I'll watch. I love horror, but then I'll be the one. When I saw It Chapter 2 in the cinema, I went by myself, and this is when I wore glasses, and I was sitting there was no one sitting next to me, and I put my hand up like that so the couple next to me couldn't see, and I'd actually pulled my glasses down because I was as blind as a bat, and I was just sitting there and I was like, I can't see a thing. And so everything was happening on the screen. I'm like, oh yeah, scary, and I'm like, I can't see anything. It was great.
So I'm just going to read these through because people might be interested.
Sure.
So Tina's given us a list here.
Yep.
Man from the Deep River.
Mhm.
We have Man Behind the Mask. The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Not Leslie Venom, as I thought it said earlier. Terrifier.
Yep.
Martyrs. Splinter. Audition. Now,
Mm.
I have to say, if that one comes up, I get it. I can't do that one.
We know
13
it.
Ghosts and Happy Death Day.
Okay. I mean, I haven't heard
Well,
of any
also,
of those.
You've
but
also
yeah.
got Deathbed and Hereditary. But if you want to stick with the 8, because Deathbed and Hereditary with like the 2 extra editions, and
No, it's all right. We'll stick with what we got.
Yeah.
So
We'll say
I'm
that
gonna-
Audition is Deathbed. Let's say
yeah,
that.
there you go. Go with Deathbed.
Well, if
instead of
I
Audition.
get Audition, I'll do Deathbed. All right.
That's what. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
All
I'd
right.
like to see you do Audition because that
Oh,
it's
if you
it's a
could do
good
Audition,
film.
yeah,
It's a good film, and I will shut up throughout it.
that's a
promise.
classic
Okay.
Japanese horror.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do Michael's first. And
Indeedy.
we're spinning the wheel.
Tick, 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 tick. Oh, it's
Oh,
Audition.
yes!
There we
Fucking
go.
gets in!
Nice.
Like it. Mike's got Audition. And I have, tickly, tickly, tickle, Man from the Deep River.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay. All right.
Right. Cut to us 5 minutes older.
Yeah, we'll try and maybe put trailers or something shit in.
Could you just like make my beard a bit whiter? Because I'm fairly certain that's the way it's going to go. Like 5 minutes in the future, it's just like, oh look, I've got some more white hairs and grey hairs. There we go.
See you in a mo.
Thailand, a country where 2/3 of the jungle is still unexplored. Here, death reigns. They didn't know what kind of animal he was. They'd never seen a white man before. And he had never seen such brutality.
You murderers! Murderers! I'm a human being like you! I'm a man, not a fish! Just help me to find a canoe.
No, along the river. Kukuru tribe live there. Cannibal tribe.
Okay, everyone, we have done our 5 minutes of research, and, well, Ed and I are ready to be probed by Tina on our favourite films. Just to clarify, Ed has Man from the Deep River, and I have a film called Audition. And T will be judging us based on not only how well we actually portray the film and answer the questions accurately, but also, of course, for entertainment value. Okay, T, take it away.
Who wants to go first?
Up to you. It's up to you.
Ed. All right, we'll do Ed first then.
All right, okay.
So, Man from the Deep River. Explain it.
I love it.
Well, that's amazing. Explain it, but give us the premise of it first.
Okay, well, Man from the Deep River, also from the video I just watched, man reaches through fence and fondles a tit on the other side. It's one of my favourite ever films, not just for the tit fondling, but it's very, very suspenseful. It can be a bit strange at times. It does very much go to the point of white man found by tribe and held captive, which is pretty, what it goes. He's a photographer. He's sent over to Thailand, and he's got a guy to help canoe him down this river. But the guy who's guiding him in the canoeing, he dies, and they find him. They find the photographer. They think he's a fish man that they found in the river. But then he's held captive, held upside down for hours. I believe then there's a female in the tribe. I think, well, I know it's the tribe leader's daughter. She then convinces him that he's not a fish man, but he is a man. But he also sees horrific things like people's tongues being cut off as punishment, and all sorts of visually disturbing things. Then he ends up escaping with the help of this woman, and it gets to the point of them both running away, and he gets married to her. It's quite interesting. I'll tell you what it kind of reminds me of. What was the film that got banned? Was it Cannibal Holocaust?
Yep, Cannibal Holocaust.
It reminds me it's very reminiscent of that, which everyone always thought it got banned because people were actually killed in it, because there was one very convincing scene of someone impaled through a spike where it's going up them and then out the throat. And everyone thought that's what it was. But the reason it actually got banned, I think it was because of animal cruelty.
Yeah, that's right.
It was because they killed a sea turtle.
Yeah, I think the director of Cannibal Holocaust also got arrested for some weird shit. That wasp is back.
But anyway, back to this film. It's very reminiscent of that. It's got your it's very much of a tribe not accustomed to seeing people outside of their tribe getting freaked out. Like, who the fuck is he? And it's all about, imprisonment and torture.
And a few cannibals here and there.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, that is...
Yeah, of course they were cannibals.
Yeah.
It's my favourite film. I know. You don't have to tell me, T.
I know.
Fucking hell. All right, anyway, Mike.
That's good.
Audition. I mean, I don't know what Ed thinks he's doing. He must. The only reason why Audition isn't his favorite movie is because he hasn't seen it before.
I know.
I feel like if he watched it, it would be, it would be up there. That was a double layer lie, just to clarify. Right. So the plot for a little film called The Audition, not The Audition, sorry, just Audition. Basically, a woman, the main character, goes to audition for a in a dance studio, and it's fine.
The end. They live happily ever after.
Nothing else happened.
She goes back home or back to her apartment, should I say. She spends the night with her lover, who actually plans to marry her the following day. But unfortunately, when they wake up in the morning, he's gone. Oh no. It turns out later in my favourite film that it's all just a fuck up. Don't worry about it. It's okay. He's alive. Let's get married. And they do. There's, many horrific scenes in it. A lot of people think that this is one of the scariest films they've ever seen. Says some film critics say that. I don't, because I'm in love with this film. It doesn't scare me anymore. When I first saw it, but now it doesn't. It's actually made by the same studio as The Ring. Mm-hmm. And, that shows, because The Ring is my second favourite film. I particularly like the American version over the Japanese version because of it's just more accessible, and I'm a simple bastard. Yeah. So, I mean, there you go, T. What more do you need to know?
You gained a new... understanding of pianos and wires, didn't you, during that film? Your favourite film?
Well, it's because the piano scene where the piano is the way that they did it. Very, very good. I think some critics actually. Last weekend I was actually just watching some audition videos on the internet, and there was one critic that took it over his other movie critic's friend's house, and the friend ejected it and threw it out the window and shouted, "Why have you brought this to my house?" So, some people actually called the police thinking that it was actually, because this was an early Japanese movie, right? People aren't used to seeing it, and they think actually maybe it's there's something wrong going on. So they actually called the police, thinking that there was actually something disturbing at bay. But yeah, that piano, good.
I mean, I
can't actually tell if you just made that bit up or not.
No, I mean, Audition is Mike's favorite film. He knows everything about it. Definitely not making that up. I mean, I think you summed that up perfectly well.
Thank you.
Both hit all the main plots of the films. You glossed over some of the gory facts.
Mike's plot. There was an audition.
No, that is pretty much spot on. I mean, yeah, he skipped out on some other bits that appeared, but you don't want to give away too much when you're describing the film.
That's it.
Which we're gonna probably do it. I'll probably do it in a minute when I explain some tidbits. Titbits. I think you both got it. But yeah, interesting. Obviously, I'm trying to think of other questions to say. Would you? I mean, having loved these films for years, you can see why they they were kind of influential, can't you? As in this, because obviously Man from the Deep River was kind of the start of the cannibal boom. Not like the cannibals just
100%. Yes, it was all about the cannibal tribes.
Exactly, yeah, which came later, like Cannibal Holocaust and that stuff.
Such cannibal films.
Yeah, such as
Island of Dr. Moreau, which wasn't really a cannibal film.
Cannibal Ferox, Green Inferno, which actually, speaking of Green Inferno...
Cannibal Tractor.
Yep, produced by the Asylum Pictures. Which, speaking of Green Inferno, because obviously that was made by Eli Roth, who obviously Audition, which was one of the earliest J-horrors. Audition was actually responsible for influencing him to start making his own type of horrors. Which is quite interesting. I'm trying to think of what questions you guys would be able to answer.
Think of the ones that, a favourite movie, experiencer would be able to answer.
Any specific key scenes you would like us to discuss, or...
I mean, Ed clearly wants to discuss this tit squeezing scene.
We're gonna
ask Ed, I'm gonna ask you about the tit squeezing. Mike, I want to know your feelings on just how thorough that piano wire scene was.
Right.
How it really, when you saw it, you really went,
piano.
Oh, damn.
Middle C.
Check out that piano wire.
Tombra.
Well, I'm just gonna come out and say it, just because I don't want to beat over around the bush any longer. A man gets castrated with a piano wire. It's very good. I have actually masturbated to that scene a few times.
This is turning into Human Centipede 2. This is.
It's one of my. The thing is, when when your girlfriend steps on your bollocks and you really it's like that. Except
just with wire.
Just with wire. And the good news is that once you do it and it feels great, you don't need to do it again because it's off. I have frozen it though, just in case. I think you'll find that is satisfactory. DMs are open.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Cool. Yeah, thanks. Good. Wasn't the scene I was thinking of, but we'll go with it.
Oh, sorry. Have you not watched the right film?
I must have watched.
If you watch the original, actually it's the Laserdisc only. But have you got the Laserdisc? It's only on that version that scene's included.
Right. That's why I've only seen the foot scene. Yeah. I will look out for this one.
Oh, where she's cutting his foot off?
Yeah, but the bollocks one sounds a lot funnier.
Yeah, no, it's not funny.
Well, I know. I mean, obviously, getting castrated with a piano wire would suck.
Yeah. But yeah. Time for red, I guess.
Yep. Oh, well done. Come on.
What was it again? The tits?
I wanted you to explain this tit grabbing scene from.
So he's in this little prison cell. You can tell it's a prison cell because it's got bamboo for walls, as you would have in any prison cell. And they've got the woman who they've caught and stripped naked, and they've thrown him in to a little bit next to him on the other side of this bamboo wall. And then he's talking to her through the fence. He's like, "You all right?" She's like, "Yeah, all right." And she's like, well, my tits are cold. So
So he just grabs one.
So he's like, all right, back up to the wall. No, the other wall. The other wall. And he's like, he slides his hand in, like, vertically through the bamboo, curves it round, and has a little cup. And she's like, yeah, I'm half warm now, thanks.
Sorry.
Classic scene. And then some cunt's tongue gets cut off.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
Kind of lingers for him.
Could have been really warm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were going to go into Japanese then.
No,
No, we can't do that on recorded content.
we can't. I don't remember that scene either. Is that on the Laserdisc version as well?
No, it was.
Oh, is that VHS?
It's on the porn.
No,
version.
I think it was first screening reel, and then it got banned for being too cannibally and
Cannibally.
yeah.
Oh God. Oh.
It was a bit of a shock at the time, you know, all the cannibals and the boob cuppage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Any more questions?
I'm trying to think of some questions now. My mind's got a bit blank.
Mine hasn't.
No, mine's
You're
flying with ideas.
Oh, cool.
Castrating and cupping.
Sorry, memories.
What a combination.
Castration and cupping. No breathing. Don't give a.
So, I mean, obviously, yeah, these films have obviously, you know, had a massively profound impact upon your lives. As evidence, you know, they've described them in great detail.
Yeah.
Great scenes of all. I mean, if you could have really added the top layer, you know, like you know, that bonus level to the top of the films, how would you really made it like, you know, okay, this was Man from the Deep River, this was Audition, but, you know, this is how we make it just that bit better. What scene would you add to really like spice that to the top bit?
I think I would like our auditionist to have red nails throughout the film. I think it would set off the camera quite nicely. It's a very sort of low saturated film, so it's very bleak looking, but it also would add a little vibrance to the camera, I feel. With regards to a specific scene I would like to see, you know what? This is my favourite film and it always will be, but a car chase.
Oh.
That would be good. I would like a car chase involving Steve McQueen.
Oh,
cool. And I think that's the only way that this film could get better. The problem is though, is that there's no real focal point on cars in the film.
Well, what if they would, you know, what if the focal point of the, you know, the car chase was to get to, you know, that audition, you know?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we've got to get you here.
Remake the entire film, but in the Cars universe.
Oh, that would be good. That could be interesting.
With your Optimus Prime from Transmorpher Omegas.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I would either like a Pixar version or a or a car chase.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like the Pixar version. I think that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, stay with it. If obviously, you know, the lead character, you know, Asami, you know, our audition S and this and Triss.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to say her name. Yeah.
What car would she be to you, considering, you know, her character?
You know what? I feel like I know her like a sister. I'm not sexually attracted to her, but like a sister. And I think she'd have a Nissan Bluebird with an RB25 engine swap.
I have no idea what that is.
You going full Rainices on us here, or
a Nissan Bluebird?
Well, I said it and I caught him out because that was the first car she picked, and you said you watched it. Yeah, I think it would be Nissan Bluebird. Yeah.
Interesting choice. Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Ed.
Yeah.
How would you you put the top layer on the Man from the Deep River?
I would have liked it for them to have understood each other by the end of it. And then he appreciates their ways, and they appreciate the customs that he can bring to them, and then they adapt and live together happily ever after. And then maybe he could have built a little shop, like a tailor's.
Oh, okay.
And then they could have all stood around in top hats. And then at the end, you just get a helicopter camera shot of them all in their village. With top hats on.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And they maybe all could have stood together because the top hats would have made dots, and they could have written out a word that said the end.
Oh, clever. I like it.
I think I would have liked that.
Let's stick with the Pixar theme. Obviously, if Pixar were to faithfully recreate this in their style, cupping and all, what would John, our mistaken fish man, what car would he be?
What car would he be?
Or because he's on a river, what boat would he be?
I'm going to go for a car, because then I can go for the Lotus from James Bond, the one that goes underwater.
Oh, clever.
And then, he could have been like Fishman and Landman. He could have been both.
Yeah. I mean, it would explain why he would get mistaken, It's like, oh, it's a fish. It's like, oh, but he's on land now.
Yeah, it's like, is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a man? Is it a fish? No, it's a fucking car, you cunt.
Oh, very clever, very clever.
Yeah.
I like it. Interesting. Let's have a think. What other great questions could I ask about your two favorite films?
Now he wants to ask the fucking questions.
Yeah, I know, right?
I've just been letting you guys talk. I mean, these aren't really questions. You guys are just, you're rattling off your knowledge of these things.
The problem is that there's little about these films we don't know.
Yeah,
true.
And that's why it's hard for you to ask a question that we couldn't answer perfectly.
I know. I don't think I could ask any question that you wouldn't be able to answer. I can't catch you out really. Yeah, that sucks because I think you've covered my questions.
Well, good. Pick one.
Huh?
I said, well, good. Pick one.
Which one? I mean, I've got to be honest. I got to give it to Mike. His description of the castration via the piano wire was just fucking top notch. I don't think I've ever seen the film in that light before.
I know.
Who was more accurate though? Come on,
he was
more accurate. I don't think either of us were really. I mean, there's cannibals and they catch him. Fucking, I don't know.
He gets a bit of a nookie in.
I'll be honest, I was watching the trailer and it was it was like a 3.5 minute fucking trailer. Oh, yeah. And then okay, I get it. He's caught, torture, blah, blah, blah. And the next minute he's on a plane, he's gone home and he's watching a fucking boxing match. It's like,
it's a weird film. Technically it's been touted as like the start of the cannibal film boom. But like the only bit of cannibals in it, it's like a 2-second scene. There's barely any in them. But it's more about how he integrates into the tribe, but he's still trying to escape at the same time.
Right. Why does he grab a tit through a wall?
Oh, nice.
Okay.
It was the 70s. It was like, we got a naked lady, all right, let's just...
Yeah, I saw them. They all kind of grabbed her, ripped her clothes off, and the next minute she was on a different scene, and he's fucking slipping his hand through some bamboo.
I think there's if I remember rightly, it's something to do with, it's like some weird tradition or like a rite where the woman actually chooses who she wants to be her partner. I don't know why grabbing her boobs would do that. But like there's
it's worse than blind date.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, oh, whose hand is this? Was that you, Bob? Oh, how'd you guess?
Is that your Cilla Black?
Yeah. Oh.
I'm Cilla Black, yeah.
No, that's
Chuck.
I was thinking more of Paddy McGuinness, Oh, what does he say? No lighty, no like here.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's like...
No squeezy, no easy. Oh.
I thought you would have gone for Squeezy and Pleasy.
Yeah, no, Wheezy, obviously. No. It's He's got to be wheezing.
Can you identify the hand from the calluses?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's only got one finger. That's definitely Jack.
Jack Dawson.
What about what about Mike's
Piano
take
scene.
on
Yeah.
was it Takashi Miike who directed it, I believe?
I've got it up here. It was, yes, Takashi Miike. The piano scene. I mean, what was interesting about Audition is it's a very slow burning film.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, it's all. I mean, the main character. What was her name?
Barbara.
Yeah, we'll call her Barbara because I can't remember her name. I think it's Aoki. I don't know. Like, it's all about. So when you get into her backstory, I won't go into too much because people want to watch it. I do recommend watching it. She is obviously mentally unstable because of stuff that's happened in her past, and so when you look at it with that in mind, you can't slightly help but feel sorry for her. But then it's when you get to that final scene and the foot lopping, for lack of a better word, with the piano wire. For many people, it was like, that's disgusting. I mean, I think.
So she kind of slowly grinds through the foot.
So she keeps him alive slowly. I think she drugs him, and she basically wraps the piano wire around his foot, and like a garrote thing.
Yeah.
So basically, she does that, and it literally burns through his foot and saws his foot off.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was
not his dick.
No, that is in there too, but for spoiler purposes, we won't go in too much how that turned out.
It's just when you two were saying anything, you want to mention.
Oh, the piano scene.
I was like, it's got to be a dick thing.
The one that always rings. I remember is when he rings her and like they're having a conversation and there's a sack in the background.
Yeah.
And then everything's fine, and then suddenly the sack moves. It goes thud on the fucking side. They've just someone just tied up in the fucking sack.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that in the trailer.
Weirdly, because going back to The Ring, okay, that was when J-horror really hit, and that's why Channel 4 aired Audition.
Oops.
And that's when I first saw it. Is because they were having like a whole like weekend, or they had a regular feature on like Japanese films and Japanese horror, especially.
Gotcha.
And that's when I first heard of it.
Yeah.
I see.
Well, the interesting horror thing I had for you was obviously there's a scene in it. Ed will know. If you're a bit queasy, apologies in advance. Obviously the bit in it where she feeds the guy like a dog. And obviously when she feeds. Apologies again. She feeds him bile from the character, and
she's got a dog bowl out, and she throws up into it and feeds him. And by this point, he's got like, what is he? He's missing his feet.
He's missing his feet.
Hand?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I think he's got his feet, but I think she's done something to his legs. She's crippled him somehow.
He's chopped the tongue off.
Yeah.
Got no feet.
No, he's
missing fingers. Is he?
He's missing fingers. I think he's missing fingers in his feet.
I can't remember.
But yeah, and then obviously the other actor, has to eat it like a dog. Fun fact, the main actress of that film is a method actor. So she really got into the character. And basically when they filmed that scene, she actually threw up in the bowl and didn't tell the other actor. So she literally fed him her own bile, and he just drank it without realizing. And then
surely you would be, because normally you would think like, oh, it's sick, but it's actually just
fake.
Porridge or
she did not.
Like,
I think the director knew, and she said, "I'm gonna do this," and the director went, "Yeah, cool." But they didn't tell the actor, so he went at it, and it was only after they got the scene she went, "Oh, by the way, I threw up in the bowl, and you just drank my sick," and I think he puked again.
That reminds me of Old Boy, where
Old Boy.
the bit when he gets back and he eats the squid raw.
Yeah.
Alive, and he actually did it on set, but he's actually a Buddhist, so he did a prayer off set for the squid before eating it. I
looked that up. I felt really bad for that guy because they had to do like 20 takes or something. So each time he had to eat a live squid, and I think he said it was one of his hardest scenes because he was like, I'm killing all these things, and as a Buddhist, obviously they're like, that's a big no-no. Yeah, Old Boy is weird,
but it's for film, so it's okay-ish. As long as you do a little prayer.
But
But yeah,
I get paid.
I was going to say audition. What did you say the audition was for again, Mike? I can't remember. Did you say it was for a dance or something?
In the audition, like in the wiki, it said she returns back to the dance studio where audition was. So I'm guessing was it like an acting audition, but held in a dance studio?
They set it up as an audition, but it was never actually for anything. No. It was it was his friend's suggestion, I believe, for him to do an audition for a new wife.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah. A bit odd.
There you go.
But yeah, it's interesting.
Not a dancer.
We obviously we talked about Cannibal Ferox of Man from the Deep River. Obviously, the director Umberto Lenzi directed Cannibal Ferox because it was Man from the Deep River. Even though there's no cannibals in it, or kind of, it was considered the very first cannibal film in the 1970s. And the main actor went on to star in like 5 of his cannibal films with the same woman who was the chief's daughter.
Yeah.
There you go. The more
so
you know.
much information inside that head of yours, T.
I know. I've got tons. I mean, I'm looking up tidbits now.
You don't have to look them up because we just said it's all in your head.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I'm just reeling them off in my head right now. You know, it's the literal English translation of the film. I can't pronounce that in Italian. Sorry. Il Paese del Sesso Selvaggio, which literally translates as the country of savage sex.
Good.
Which might explain a lot of the stuff that happens in it, actually, to be fair. But actually, no, tell you what, this is the good fact. When you ask people have they seen it, they often refer to the film as The Man from the Deep River. But it's not. It's Man from the Deep River. But they always say it wrong.
Oh, it's like Alex the Kid.
Yeah, it's Alex Kidd. But yeah, there you go. Fun facts for you.
Fun facts, everyone. Right. If you want more horrific content this happy Halloween, please go onto YouTube, type in Tainted Souls, and treat yourself. It's got mainly stories about reflective sort of past tense stuff. Yeah. But you know what? The most recent video I watched of yours was the animation one. I shan't give it away. It's really impressive. I didn't even know that people could do animation that good, like outside of a professional studio.
Yeah, that was incredible. I can't remember what it was
really
called.
Good.
Yeah, it was Vendetta. I think it was. It was incredible.
Feasibly. Yeah. But yeah, no, really good, guys. Please check him out. He's T-Wizard on Twitter and also Tainted Souls on Twitter.
Yeah.
And of course, streaming as well. What are you playing currently on stream? You've made a comeback of sorts.
Yeah, came back. So obviously Mondays, probably play Sea of Thieves.
Sorry, just to clarify, don't watch him then because that's when we stream. But you know,
well, Mondays is something. It's whatever it is. Thursdays we play. Thursdays we've been playing The Crown, The Lost Crown. Cool little noir thing.
Yes, no, I've watched a little bit.
It's interesting. Sundays we were playing The Fall, which is good. But we've got interesting games coming up, such as Dead by Daylight, which is always a good one.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, we've got
that's basically the same game, isn't it?
Song of Horror, Visage. We've got tons of horror games we're going to be playing.
Nice. Right then, everyone. He's been Ed. I've been Mike. And we will see you next time, which will be a super special 10th episode.
Oh.
No, we've just had the 10th episode. This is going to be episode 11.
Okay. I thought
awkward.
I thought we got
Kim's, then we've got Mark's, and then this one.
Are we going to have its disclaimer at the bottom at the end of the episode? It's like it was in fact the 11th episode.
But you've this one you have to edit this in a month. But you've got to do all 3 in less than a month. We've got to release them all in a month.
Tainted Souls, in fact, did not do a Halloween episode
next week. I was going to try and get them
next
next
to do one a month. Now we're doing 3 in 1.
Well, it depends. I mean, we can do it that way around if you want, because last time we were filming, we said we were going to release Kim's before Mark's.
Yeah, I say just chill out, get this one done, get it done for October 3rd. This is definitely a conversation that we could have after. Get it done, and then we can, spoilers, do Mark's as the 10th episode.
Basically, secret behind the scenes fact for everybody, we've got no fucking clue.
I mean, if you were doing one a month, this would technically be the 10th one.
Yeah. No, because we're on 8 currently.
Yeah, we got a number 9 to fix. So I was going to do number 9 for September, and then I was going to do basically October's. Like, I was just going to do basically this as a bonus one in the middle.
What you could do is you could do it as like the found footage that we're all fans of, and then you just release an animation like this was the 9th episode. It was lost for many years, and then they found it.
What Pixar character would Ed be if he was a Pixar character?
Yeah, what Pixar character would Ed be? And Mike's best techniques for piano orchestration.
All coming in episode 10 of Pocket Knockers. It's not, we've already recorded it.
Can we just say bye now?
No.
Bye!
Wave!
I'm waving.
We're waving. Audible.
Nice.